Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are live after 5 a.m. and it is the day after Valentine's Day. Yeah. Gotta love it. I hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day, and I hope you got everything you hope for. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how to do this GUI real quick. I'm going to make some changes here today, clean up our GUI just a little bit. First of all, I made our GUI a little bit more visually appealing. Can you guys tell that this says Google up here and this says Wikipedia down here? Okay, do you have that in there? No. Okay, so let's go do that now. So all I did was, and I'll delete these, and I'll show you how I did it. Okay. Remember that when you delete a horizontal arrangement, everything inside of there gets deleted. So as precautionary measure, you need to be careful when you do that. Are you with me? Because if you have 5 buttons in there and you hit delete, all 5 buttons are gone. So be careful. Okay. So I don't know why it just didn't. So I'll go ahead and delete this again. I'm going to show you how I did it. Delete this. Okay. Show you how I did it. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is go down and get 2 horizontal arrangements. Okay. The reason why I want a horizontal arrangement here. So let's go back to what you had yesterday. All right. You guys had something like this yesterday, right? Okay. Why do I not want to do that? Well, I cannot, if you go to your web viewer, you cannot put in an image in there. Are you with me on that? An image will not go in here. But guess what? Guess what an image can go in? The horizontal arrangement. So I'm going to go to horizontal arrangement. I'm going to rename it HA, okay, HA Google. And I'm going to make its width and height fill parent. And background colors none. And I'm going to put in now my web viewer inside of there. I'm going to call this WBV Google. Okay. And now if I go to my horizontal arrangement, I can put in an image. So let's go. I think it's Google logo. That's cool, but that's not the one I wanted. Search icon. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, there it is. All right, so there's your Google. Yeah, yours is going to be smaller because I'm getting ready to put another one in. All right, so let's do this again. Let's go down here. Okay, I'm going to go down in here. All right, so I'm going to make this width and height fill parent. I'm going to put in another horizontal arrangement. Background colors none. And the background image is this Wikipedia logo. There it is. All right. And then I'm going to go get a web viewer and put it over top of that. There's my web viewer. I'm going to rename that web viewer WBV Wiki. And this horizontal arrangement is going to be called HA Wiki. Can I tell the difference between HA Wiki and WBV Wiki? Are they the same name? No, they're not. They're different. WBV stands for what? Web viewer. HA stands for? It's just a GIF. I got it offline. It will not do that when I get to the mobile app. When I run it, it will not do that. So that looks kind of cute and pretty right now. It may not even look good. It may not even work when I run it. I have to check to see how it looks when I run it. Are you guys with me on that? Who understands how I did this? Nobody? Nobody understands how I put in a horizontal arrangement and added an image to it. Lily's the only one. Thank you, Lily. Okay. Lily, how'd everything go last night? Did you have a good Valentine's Day? You did? Good. All right, I'm going to take this search bar and I'm going to put it up top, kind of like Google. You guys remember Google doing that? This is kind of like the modeling Google here, okay? And then down here, okay, I put in a toggle button. Okay, so I put in a button down here. It's called BTN Toggle View. What I'm going to do there is when I click on that button, it can go from just seeing Google, click it again, just seeing Wiki. Click it again, just seeing Google, click it again, just seeing Wiki. Now, do you guys remember how we did the play pause button last week? So I thought we'd do the exact same thing, except we'll do a W and a G. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I have another icon in here. I think it's the Google icon. Yes, so I'm going to toggle this back and forth between Google and Wikipedia. So that way you can do an over and under, and then if you want, you can just see Google, just see Wiki, just see Google, just see Wiki. Who understands what I'm doing? Is that a good idea? You think that would be a good idea for her? For her, who was her? Tanya? Remember Tanya wanted us to build this app? And she had the side-by-side idea yesterday. No, Tanya, we don't want to do the side-by-side. I think you're better off doing an over and under. And guess what? I could put in a toggle button where you could only see Google, and then you can quickly go and see Wiki. Okay? Who is up to date and currently on what I'm doing here? All right? Are we ready to put some code in? All right. I'm going to give you a second. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to go ahead and start our code blocks. Okay, remember, every time we do code, your GUI is your checklist. Are you with me on that? Your GUI is your checklist. So I want to get my text box to work. I want to get my voice button to work, my BTN search button to work. I want to get my web viewer to display what's on the web. And I want to get the Wikipedia to display what's on Wikipedia's web. I want to get my back arrow to work, my home button to work, my toggle view to work, and my forward button to work. Okay, this is a checklist, right? Yeah. Yeah, you guys can go home and become an Android developer for $25. All you have to do is go to Android, give them a bank account. You start becoming an Android developer, start posting your apps. Okay? All right, so let's go in here and start doing some code blocks. Here we go. So the first thing we need here is to remember what word we're searching for. Okay? So that has to be a variable. Anytime you want to remember something, has to be a variable. Okay? So I'm going to call this search. I'm going to call this my search text. My search text. All right? And the search text they don't go to 0, it goes to quote, quote, because it's a string. What's the difference between a string and numbers? Strings are letters, numbers, anything you can type in from the keyboard. Are you with me as a string? Numbers are, here's the thing I ask myself all the time, the difference between numbers and strings. Am I going to do math with it? Okay, if I do math with it, it's a number. For example, your Social Security number. Is that a number? No, it's not. Social Security number is a string. You're not going to do math with it. Your house number, where you live, 100 South Columbus Drive. Are you going to do math with 100 South Columbus Drive? No, it's a string. It's an identifier. Okay, your birth date, is it a number or a string? No. Moms. Ooh, okay. Cut it out. All right, so strings. Now, there's also a variable in here, okay? And we're going to call it base URL. So, but we need to know which one it is. So we'll call this Google base URL, okay? Google base URL. And then we're going to need another one called Wiki base URL, okay? So you need 3 variables right now. And we need another variable in here. We're going to have to count, okay? Counter. And counter is going to not equal a quote, it's going to equal 0. So this is good. You get to see the difference between which one's a number. A counter is a number. And Wikipedia base URL, all those are strings, so they get the quotes. Who understands this so far? Okay. Now, what we're going to have to do here is a study on Google. Okay. So I'm going to go out here to Google, and I'm going to type in puppies. Okay. That's why I typed it in, because I knew you were thinking about it. All right, so there are your puppies. And by the way, there's our bar right there that we just created. Do you guys see that? We just created this, right? Let's go back to MIT. I created the little Google microphone and the magnifying glass. So if I type in puppies or if I type in cats, okay, I want you guys to look up here. Everybody needs to stop what they're doing. And I want you to focus in on my URL. Does everybody see my URL? It's a Uniform Resource Locator. It's right here. It's this big, huge, long HTTPS://. We went over this yesterday. Remember we said HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Okay? Look at this. I want you, everybody, turn around and look. I'm going to type in Bobcats. And watch what changes. What happened to my URL? What changed? It is? Okay. What about tigers? What changed? That's correct. The only thing that changed right here is tigers. Okay? That means this right here is the base URL. So what I'm going to do is copy that. And I'm going to go back to MIT. I'm going to go to my Google base URL. And I'm going to paste this in there. And I'm going to hit enter. Now I've got this huge base URL right here. Do you see that? And I highly, highly, highly encourage copying and pasting. Because if you're one letter off, is that going to work? No. Yeah. No, all you have to do is go to Google and search for something. Tigers, bears, okay? If I type in bears, all right? You know, everything here is the same. All right? I don't know why it has puppies in there. Okay? So this is that base URL. Yep. So you go ahead and highlight your base URL. And then this guy down here, puppies, bears, cats, kittens, that becomes my search string. And we're going to type that in and try to figure out what they typed in. Are you with me on that? I'll show you that later. Now, let's go out here to Wikipedia. Okay? Wikipedia. So I go out to Wikipedia. And this is Wikipedia. And I'm going to wikipedia.org. This is our URL. And now I'm going to type in kittens. Okay? And there it doesn't come up. You're going to notice it doesn't come up as kittens. It comes up as kitten. Now let's go in here and type out dogs. Notice it doesn't come out dogs, it comes out dog. It's always going to be singular, not plural. So, what changed here? Well, let's type in tiger. Okay. Yes, everything here in front of tiger, even the forward slash. This is my base URL. So I'm going to copy that, go back to my base URL, and I'm going to paste that. Much shorter on Wikipedia. Okay? Who understands what I'm doing? What's your counter is, we're going to count a counter, we're going to count how many times we hit the button. You don't like counter? How about count? How about my count? Okay, so my count. So if my count's 1, we're going to go to Google. If my count's 2, we're going to go to Wikipedia. If my count's 3, we could go to both of them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You with me? So I need to count to be able to know which one I'm on. Do you remember last week we did play pause and we had to have a counter in there for play pause? I'm doing the same thing. All right, so the next thing I need to do is get the text right here from the text box. Okay? So, BTN search, we're going to click it. When I click it, I want to get the text from the text bar. Okay, so I'm going to set my variable. What's that? What's that? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the search text. My search text, where am I getting it from? The text bar. Whatever they typed in. Did they type in puppies? Did they type in kittens? Did they type in DANDROID? What did they type in? Are you with me? Okay. Now, inside of text here, there's a whole lot of cool stuff in here. This is called a trim. And a trim, what it does is it trims off spaces if you accidentally hit the space bar in front or in back of the word. So if I hit space, cat, space, accidentally, the trim cuts off the white spaces. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool feature. Okay? Right. And now all I want to do is I want to do a search with Google and Wikipedia. So I'm going to say go to this URL. What URL do I want them to go to? Well, now you need a join. We want to join this big, huge, long base URL. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the base, Google base URL. And I'm going to join it with the text that I just got. So that's my search text. Okay. And now I can do this again. We're going to do this simultaneously for Wikipedia. Go to the URL. Okay. And let's just duplicate this. A trim, I just talked about that. A trim cuts off the blank spaces before and after a word. In case, you know how people that type 200 words a minute, they hit the space bar. They can hit the space bar so quick you don't even know it. Okay, so if you type fast and you accidentally hit a space bar, if you put a space in there, what trim does, it finds that space, cuts it off. So this is going to be my Wikipedia base URL and then my search text. And it's going to go here. Okay, that's it. Now, let's create a couple more variables. This is going to be a great lesson on creating variables here today. Okay, so let's call this Google, Google Home. URL. Okay. And let's create another one here. And what's the next one going to be, you think? Wiki home URL. Okay. Let's put some quotes in there. And let's go back to Google, and let's go back to Google's home URL. Okay. And you can just take this right here, copy that, and put it into the Google home URL. And it'll take you to there. Okay, let's go back and go to Wikipedia. Let's go to Wikipedia home. And there's the main page right there. I don't think that's the main page. I think if you go right here, no, it's taking me here. Yep, so if I type in Wikipedia, there it is. There, it should be this one right here. Yeah, so there it is. Copy that. So you go back to MIT. And you know what? I think this Google, we can go to a, yeah, so this should be our main right here also. So this one shouldn't be so long. There we go. All right, so there's your home URLs. All right. So let's go do the home button real quick. Everybody want to guess how we do the home button? BTN click home. Where am I going to go? Okay. All I'm doing is I'm just going to copy this whole thing here. Okay. And I don't want to go there. Okay. All I have to do is go to my home. So all you have to do is go to Google home URL. And down here at Wiki, you go to your Wiki home URL. And all I did was save it right up here. Okay, do you guys see that? Okay, so there are my, this is a great lesson on creating variables. Variables are great. They store and save things for you. Anything you want to remember, you create a variable and have them remember it for you in the app. Okay? Yeah, I created a Google home URL and a Wiki home URL, and I just stored them in there so you guys can see what those actually are. If you wanted to, you guys could have gone here, but I don't like doing it. You guys could have clicked on your web viewer, and then you could have typed in your home URL here. Are you with me? http://www.google.com. Okay, /. You could have done that. I don't like to do that because if somebody misses that, then I'd rather see it here and use my variables because now you guys can see this in code. You know exactly where I'm going. Who gets that? Because that's what we did the usability study. When we did searches on Google and I typed in puppies, this is what I got. Okay. So if I type in cats, all right, actually this could have worked right here. I could have used this one right here. Okay. And that's, I don't know why the other one's long. No, any of them should work. All right. Who's with me so far? Let's go do the back button. Pretty simple. Watch this. WBV. Where you going, man? Nurse? WBV, go back. Was that hard? Uh, WBV wiki, go back. Are you guys with me on that? What do you think you're going to do on go forward? Yeah. So BTN forward. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know. These would still be go back here. So I'm just going to go WBV go forward and copy that. And this is going to be WBV wiki go forward. Are you with me? Done. So how's our checklist looking? Forward, home, back are done. Toggle view is not finished yet. I'm getting ready to do it. I just showed you guys to put this. Yeah, I showed you guys to put this button in right here. BTN toggle view. I showed you that earlier today. All right, so let's go do the toggle button. This is pretty simple. So BTN toggle. So what are we going to do here? What's the concept behind this one? Why do we have Lily on your phone? Why do we have Lily on your phone? What was that? You are? Okay. Let's go to work. BTN toggle view here. We want to change the views back and forth between one Google and then one, right? I want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and when I want to toggle back and forth between only looking at Google and then only looking at Wikipedia. Who understands what I'm doing here, trying to do here? Okay, so let's do that. All right. So when I click on this, I need to go ahead and count with my counter. My count. And my count, we're going to do some math with it and add 1 to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my count and add 1 to it. Okay, 0. Okay. And then I'm going to do a logical if control on it. If and I got to remember how to do this. So we got to go back into math and do a modulus of. There it is. Okay. If the modulus of my count divided by 2. Okay. If it's equal to 0. So that means if I divide by 2, 4 divided by 2 is, goes in there 2 times with a remainder of 0. 5 divided by 2, 2 goes in there 2 times with a remainder of 1. 6 divided by 2 is, 2 goes in there 3 times, remainder of 0. So every time it's even, you're going to have a remainder of 0. Every time it's odd, you're going to have a remainder of 1. So I'll go ahead and do this, and I'll put an else in here. I don't have to do this, but I'm just going to make this very clear to you guys. Okay? If you divide by 2 and you get 1, you have an odd number. Okay? Maybe I'll put in here, you guys remember how I did add comments? Okay? This is even. And this one down here is add a comment. This one down here is odd. Okay. Okay, who's with me on that? Try to get them down there so you can see them, okay? So if it's even, yeah, we'll just show one of them. I don't think it really matters, okay? Which one do you want to see first? We'll do Google first, right? So it really doesn't matter, okay? So now this is where my horizontal arrangement comes into play. This is going to be really nice here, okay? So I'm going to say visible. Set my horizontal arrangement visible, okay? And then I'm going to also go in here and duplicate this, and I'm going to set the HA Wiki, okay? And then you go get true and false. Okay, so if it's even, Google's going to be false and Wiki's going to be true. And then I'm going to duplicate these. And then I'm just going to change them down here, okay? Down here, this is going to be true, and this is going to be false. All right? And now let's go run this, and let's see if it works. I'm just about finished. All we have to do is voice, right? There's one thing we didn't do on home. Home is like resetting your search. Are you with me on that? Hello? You guys with me on this? Home is like resetting your search. What should happen to the text bar when you hit home? It should clear. Very good, Lily. So let's clear the text bar when we go home. Okay? So when you go home, watch this. You need to clear this. So you're going to say set my search text equal to nothing. Okay? And you also want to go ahead and set the search bar equal to nothing. Okay? So go down and find its text and set its text equal to nothing. What is quote quotes? What's in quote quotes? Nothing. Nothing's in quote quotes. So if I set the search text to be quote quote, it's going to go to nothing. All right. So I cleared the text search bar, right? And I cleared the text string that we're looking for. So it's no longer puppies. It's no longer cats. It's no longer tigers. It's no longer bears. We erased it. And then I also erased the text bar. So that's it. That's done. All right. So what's next? I guess we just need to run this, see if it works. Okay, we're back. So I found a couple things wrong with the app. Number one, it never shows both of them at the same time, and that's what her request was. Are you guys with me on that? So that's not answering her request. Remember, when you're building apps, you have to satisfy the customer. So there's a couple things I'm going to do here. Number one, I'm going to go back to my designer. Do you guys see the text bar? We forgot to put in a hint text for it. So I'm going to say, let's go back to Google and see what Google does on their hint text. Google, okay. Let's go to Google. Okay. Google usually has a search text in here. It says search Google or type URL. Are you with me? This usually says something here. Can somebody do that? Let's see what happens if I get a new bar. Okay. It usually comes up. There it is. Do you guys see this? Search Google or type URL. Do you guys see this little gray letter here? That is called a hint text, and we didn't do that. This is called a hint. What it does is it gives your user an idea of what they should be doing here. Okay, maybe you have a box and you could put in a hint that says first name. Would they know to put in their first name? Yeah, and look what happens to it when I click on it. This is what I like about them. Boom, they're gone. Okay, so they're like ghost text. So what I want to do here is say search Google / Wikipedia or type URL. Okay, so that's my search text, and that'll be done in there. So that's done. That's one thing that's fixed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did right here. Now, I don't like this code right here because we never got to see the double version of both of them. Are you with me? Because it's automatically starting out at 0 and then dividing this number by 2, and then 0 divided by 2 is going to give us a remainder of 0. Okay? So, I'm going to do this right here. If I'm going to put in another else if here. Okay? And I'm going to move these down. And I'm going to say if equals, okay, if my count equals 0, if my count is equal to 0, because it's starting out at 0, then I want both of these to be seen. Okay? So I'm going to go 0, 1, 2. And then I'm going to do another else if in here. And I'm going to say if my count ever goes to 2, then I want to reset it back to 0. So when I get to, so I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, back to 0, 1, 2, back to 0, 1, 2, back to 0, 1, 2. Are you with me? Do you guys see the pattern here? 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. If it's at 0, I'm showing both. If it's at 1, I'm showing Google. If it's at 2, I'm only showing Wiki, and then I go back to 0, showing both. So it's going to go both, 1, 2, both, 1, 2, both, 1, 2. Who understands what I'm doing here? Okay? So if I go back to 0, if I get to 2, I'm going to set my count, reset it back equal to 0. Okay? This is what I have. All right? Now run this. This should work. Reset the counter. Hard reset. Reset. AI companion. Let's see if this runs. Scan it in. Okay. Does it work? So I'm just going to quickly, this is going to be the last thing I'm going to do today. I'm going to probably put in a horizontal arrangement in here. And I'm going to put it right in between them. And width is going to be fill parent. And I'm going to put in some text in there. I'm going to put in a label. And I'm going to make that label really small. And I'm going to make this, I don't know, with fill parent. So this is going to be called HA separator. Separator. Is that ER or OR? Separator. ER. Thank you. Separator. All right. Background. I'm going to put a blue line in there, and then I'm going to take my label text, and I'm going to make it like 5. I'm going to make it really small. Are you with me on that? Okay. And, yeah, I don't want to see it. I just want a little tiny blue line in there to separate Google from Wiki. Are you with me on that? I put a label in there just so that it'll go to the size of, yeah. I don't even care what this label says in here. I'm going to go to my label right now, and since I have a blue background, I'm going to make my text blue also. You're not going to see it. And that label is doing absolutely nothing except taking up a little bit of space in there. And I don't know, I could even shrink it. Let's go down to 2. There you go. There's a little tiny blue text in there. Could you take out the text? Can you? Does it work? Sure. Okay, yeah. So now you got a little blue separator line in there. Are you with me on that? And that's it. That's it for today. That's a little small, isn't it? Let's go to 4. All right. So keep calm, code on, and hope this helps. Great job today.